the parks don't need the money. The question is that the more and more restriction you put on whatever dollars and revenue stream that we have, the less degrees of freedom that we can then be responsive to some of the other needs that we have and so on. And then on the second one, Warren did talk to me about this particular idea. I'm not totally there yet. There are still individuals who are passionate, and they find that they're a lot more familiar. Instead of doing a VBM, vote by mail, that they want to go down to their election poll place and so on. And I don't want to deny any individual having the ability to vote and so on. I have another bill that allows same-day registration, that on election day that you can in fact vote and at your county office and so on. So I just am very passionate that we've got to find ways to increase participation of voting. California, unfortunately, is one of the lowest states in terms of voter turnout, and we've got to find ways to increase that and so on. So.
One point. The 2008 election in this county, the general election, those people that were registered to vote by mail, which is now about half of all the voters, they voted at a 93% return rate, whereas the people that were at the polls, they voted at a turnout rate of about 69%. So vote by mail, in fact, increases the percent participation.
Well, but currently you could still do that. I mean, what I think Mr. Slocum wants to do is to take away the at the poll vote site and make it all VBM, all vote by mail and so on. And that, we haven't revisited that issue. He hasn't brought that up again. But at the end of the day, if it means somehow decreasing the number of polling places, we'd be interested in hearing that discussion.
Senator Yee, I want to tell everybody something about you. He's so modest. He made a very courageous stand against California State University system, Sarah Palin. As a result of that, every Tea Party member, right-wing extremist, gun nut, militia person in the state of California and elsewhere was harassing him night and day. He's not a giant man like Governor Schwarzenegger, but he didn't back down. I was blessed to spend 11 years of my working career in the British Empire. Laurie's from there. Suzanne is married to a man from there, and they know well, in England they would call you a man with the heart of a lion, sir, and I congratulate you.
You mentioned earlier looking for finances, revenues, they're thinking about going over to the recycle fund.
Right.
So, number one, what is that money currently set up to do that you guys would be shifting out of there? And then secondly, how do you see the Brown-Whitman race unfolding?
Sometimes those are above my pay grade, but I'll try to take a chance. On the recycling, those dollars are mainly used for environmental types of programs. So there are grant programs that are given to nonprofit organizations, government organizations to encourage people to recycle, encourage people to clean up their environment. And so those are the kinds of, the problem with those individuals who feel so very strongly about this particular fund is that the dollars were gained with the intent of basically doing recycling and encouraging people to recycle, and now you're taking that money and dealing with the general fund. And so that's the argument against it. Again, it goes back to this whole argument about, well, what funds do you have available and how do you use it and for what particular purpose? On the Whitman and Jerry Brown, my assessment is that Jerry Brown can lose. That if he does not work hard, and if he's not aggressive, and that he spends a little bit less time pontificating and really talking about the real problems of the state of California, I think it would be better. the less that he dodged the questions about real answers and real solution, the better it's going to be. If I were Meg Whitman, I would basically say, this is a governor that has great ideas and so on, but that's all it is. How you implement, how you do it, how you fix it. He does not have a plan, and you know, and I can kind of understand, because some of the things that he's going to be arguing for, you know, raising revenues and doing more for our kids and education and so on, because that's what we all Democrats really want from a governor. You know, he's going to have a hard time fending off the argument that, well, where are you going to get the money, how are you going to do it, and all that. But he's got to get really engaged in discussion about those real issues, because that's what, you know, if you're not going to talk about that, you know, why are Democrats going to vote for someone who's just simply going to just do a lot of shuck and jive and really not address the needs of what's going on in California? You know, and I talk about San Francisco a lot. San Francisco, like California, we're living on a reputation. That's all we're living on. It's not real anymore. I mean, you know, you've got kids who are now leaving the state to get the college education. You've got kids who are not well served in our K-12 education. We don't have a health care program anymore. So, you know, what is the state about? It's not about just simply a place where people make a lot of money. It's about people living, dying, building their home, building their legacy, building their family here. And that's what we got to talk about. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure that my question hasn't been answered. I'd like to preface it with a remark that within my frame of reference, it seems to me that the people who don't want their taxes raised are the people who are already rich.
Well, someone told me that the reason why they're rich is that they don't give a whole lot, you know? They keep it all.
I have an income of just under $30,000 a year, and I would be happy to pay $300 more out of my income in taxes. I mean, you know, but the people that I'm really in touch with have the money and could easily pay. But what I'm not sure that my question hasn't been answered.
Sure.
Because I had a little difficulty understanding some of it. But you talked a lot about restoring programs.